What's up, guys? It's Dave with Atrius. Today I'm with Alex Shay, the West Virginia director of GOA. Alex, welcome to the range.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
That was a terrible handshake. Let me try again.
We'll work on it.
Yeah, that's a thumbnail. We are here to test products, demo, and to talk about Atrius Development Group and the fight for our product category, which is force reset technology.
Absolutely. Force technology is perhaps the most important technology to come out as of late. Now, it's an older technology, some say as old as the 1800s, but something that's very important that I want people out there to know is that companies like Atrius are making it possible to consider these types of things common use. Now, semi-automatic weapons technology is already considered common use, but the FRT specifically is going to be targeted legislatively inevitably.
Absolutely.
So the best way to have a good defense against those kinds of legislative attacks is to sell, baby, sell. I need to have at least 200,000 or more of those in common use so that they meet that common use standard, and then they are considered protected arms under the Second Amendment. And the only reason I know so much about this very specific niche thing is this is how I got into GOA. It actually started with bump stocks in Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. When that terrible incident occurred, the government decided that they were going to create an executive order to make bump stocks classified legally into machine guns. And so when they did that, they don't have the authorization to do that. They don't change legislation. So the legislature can do that, sure, but not the executive branch.
Yep.
That my mother bought me a AR-15 6-hour M400 and a bump stock, the slide fire bump stock, gave them to me as gifts for returning alive from Iraq.
Wow.
So I was 15 months deployed in Iraq as a combat medic, came home, my mother gifted me an AR and a bump stock, which at the time was a completely legal thing. But then 1 week later, boom, now the federal government that I just fought a war for is telling me that my mother and are both felons, and that's looking at like 25 years in prison or $250,000 fines.
Insanity.
So the Cargill case that GOA took up went womb to tomb, took it all the way to the Supreme Court and determined that not only did the executive branch not have the ability to do those things, that's what codified the protections of semi-automatic firearms, such as bump stocks, which is now evolved into the Atrius super selectors and the Hoffman triggers and all the other super safeties.
That's right.
So yeah, that's how I got here. So literally because of this desert in Las Vegas, literally because of guys like you, is why Alex Shay at GOA exists at all.
That's crazy. What a backstory. You know, it's funny enough, my own personal story and how I got into the gun industry was also through kind of like a very niche sector of the gun industry. I started working at 80% arms, so the 80% stuff, you know, like the arbitrary nature of, you know, quote unquote proposed rulemaking of the ATF is not something I'm not familiar with. I'm intimately familiar with how ridiculous the nature of it is and how just funny, you know, the way things kind of played out the past 5-6 years. I mean, the specific, I even remember the specific proposed rule. It was like 2021 R-05. And then 08 was for the pistol braces, right? Now, funny enough, while I was working at my previous company, we were working on Atrius as just a side project, right? We were just like, hey, let's see if we can figure something out. But the thing is, our co-founders took a real risk in trying to develop and create this technology, knowing that, hey, you know, there's some serious risk to creating something that's not really like well received, legally adopted or whatnot. And we launched something like May 17th, 2025, right?
Wow.
And it wasn't not even a month later in June that Cargill solidified the federal acceptance of, you know, this technology, this product category, things like bump stocks, and then by way of that, FRTs, and now for us, the FRS, the Force Reset Selector. So yeah, safe to say, a really wild ride.
And it's a scary ride for sure, because no man should fear his government. Government should fear its population. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we are the ones who they serve us. We don't serve them. And when they come up with these arbitrary and capricious rules that just, and what's scary about it for me and for you is that they weren't going to fine us. You know, they were going to send SWAT teams to kick in our doors and definitely shoot our dogs if it's the ATF. And they were going to take our, not only our liberty, but our lives. And for what? Just because we wanted to enjoy freedom? Just because we wanted to live the American dream in the American West or wherever you may be out there in TV land?
That's right. You know? I mean, our founder likes to say it's the Bill of Rights, not the Bill of Wants and Needs.
Exactly. and it doesn't grant you rights. It restricts the government.
That's right.
See, I already have my rights. I'm a living, breathing human. I live in this universe, on this planet. No one's giving me anything. They have restrictions on what they can do. I don't have restrictions on what I can do.
Absolutely. So while we're really proud that we've brought this category into the mainstream, we've gotten into Optics Planet, we've gotten into second step distributions, we've got a major dealer network across the country, we still need more. So one of the ways that you can do that is by either going to atrius.dev right now and ordering your own FRS, or you can also go to gunowners.org.
Yeah, and sign up today to support freedom. So I need you to be calm, cool, collected, and confident in your ability to articulate the ideals of freedom, individual liberty, and the American way of life. And the best way to do that is to be on the email alert list so you can get the breakdown Barney style of everything happening in your state, city, or county, and on the national level. And if you want to support us, $25 a year, non-recurring, go to gunowners.org. That is gunowners.org and donate today.
Alex, thanks for coming out, bro.
Thanks for having me.
Let's do some